Welcome to another installment of Driving with Styles. Sorry for the tardiness. I had to give my wife some love this morning for her birthday, so made me a little late, but it's well worth it. So, what are we going to talk about today? Um, Obviously, we are getting closer and closer to the biggest game of Stoops' era. This Tennessee game this weekend. It's kind of interesting that uh, rivalry games coming from Louisiana. It was, I want to say, difficult, but not being from Kentucky and understanding all the history between Kentucky and Tennessee, and via high school football and neighboring state and all that good stuff. And I didn't have that hatred for Tennessee. All I wanted to do was win games. I understand from a fan standpoint the hatred, but it's difficult for the players to have that same hatred unless something happened the year before. And I think last year's contest is going to drive this team more than this rivalry and this trophy. What happened last year was unacceptable, but it's understandable when you're dealing with 18 to 22-year-old kids. But that game last year probably left a bad taste in a lot of players' mouth, especially the way Tennessee talked. See, the difference is the rivalry game for us is the majority of our players are not from the state. However, the majority of the players from Tennessee that play for UT are from the state. So they have that taste of rivalry more than we do. That's why it's kind of nice to have Cash on the team to to pump this week up with his personality and the fact that he's from Kentucky. He can talk it up a little bit more than the guys that are not from Kentucky. And he's a player. He's just not a guy on the team. But I'm gonna tell you that game last year is gonna play a big factor on this game this weekend. I have no fear this week at all facing Tennessee. Um, there's not one player on that team that fears me at all. I know the Jawan thing has been played up. The kid is a good SEC receiver, undoubtedly. He is a very good player, but he's not scary. That Alabama core of receivers is scary. That Ole Miss group they had a year or so ago was scary. This LSU group they have this year, and they've had like Shark was a scary kid too. It's scary, but Jawan is not scary to me. He's a big physical receiver. He's not going to blow the top off of coverage. Uh, Partner him with Callaway, who has a little bit more explosiveness. They are a good group, but they're not a scary group. We have been really mixing up some coverages this year, which I think can confuse whomever they throw out at quarterback. That offensive line with the injuries that they have, turnstiles at the tackles. The defense is opportunistic though. They are they have been playing pretty good football, forcing turnovers, giving their offense a short field. Speaking of the short field, I actually wrote it down. I got another day of notes. If we protect the ball and use Duffy for his All-American status, which he should be an All-American this year, Tennessee shouldn't score more than 13 points. I don't know the weather. It's a night game, which I don't like. This late in the season in Lexington, it gets cold. I would much rather an afternoon game, sun out, warming up a little bit, the fake warmth. But it is what it is. We get a prime time game. But if you look at their last 3 SEC games, these are their scoring drives, purely scoring drives. South Carolina, they had a field goal, 36-yard drive. They had a touchdown, a 75-yard drive with 2 plays. We cannot give them big chunk plays. Make them snap the ball. They are going to self-implode on the drive. They're going to get a holding call at least, because those freshman tackles are not very seasoned yet. They had a touchdown drive of 48 yards, short field. Touchdown drive of 68 yards, 4 plays. 4 plays, 68 yards. I think that touchdown was a 55-yarder to Callaway, if I remember that correctly when I watched that game. Make them snap the ball. They are not going to drive it down your throat. All right? It's Bama at a touchdown, 41 yards, short field. At a field goal, 55 yards drive, a field goal, 40-yard drive. Against Mississippi State, at a touchdown, 60-yard drive, field goal, 5-yard drive, 5 yards. A field goal, 56 yards, and a touchdown that sealed the game at the end. It was a 91-yard drive that was huge for them. 9 plays. That touchdown drive against Mississippi State was huge. That was a big one. I watched that on tape. That was the seal. I think they were up 13-10 at the time. And to get the ball inside the 10-yard line, that should have been at least a tie game. Mississippi State defense didn't step up. When you pin a team in the 9-yard line, you have to keep them there, especially when you're down by 3 and you have a chance to tie the game with a big stop. That was the most impressive drive that I saw in the games that I watched of Tennessee. And it was at home. Them boys playing on the road is going to make a big difference, I promise you. Another big difference is those guys are going to really come into this game ready for the run attack. And I really feel like Grant is going to gash him early with their aggressiveness with a couple pop passes from both. I really do. It's not supposed to be a wet game. It's going to be a cold game, I think, but it's not supposed to be rainy. Which is going to give us more opportunities to put that ball in Lynn's hands to possibly throw it. And Pruitt is going to come into this game as a good defensive coordinator should do, with the purpose of stopping one attack. And I'm pretty sure he's going to try to stop that run. which is going to open them up to the passing game. And I'm not afraid of their corners. Now, Tennessee does have a pretty good rush, uh, pretty good pass rush, so we got to stay out of third and long. I think if we stay out of third and long, we should be fine. I think this is a game, um, since it won't be a rainy game, it won't be a wet game, that we should be able to force some turnovers. I think Garantano or whomever is the quarterback is prone to throw at least 1 or 2 picks. Get us a couple short fields, and I think this is our chance to get above 500 with the right momentum to finish the season strong. There is, as I've said, there is nothing. I think our offensive line, I think our guys, I think our trenches are better than Tennessee's. And in most games, if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the game. And I think we will control the game from that standpoint. I think we are starting to get a little better off the edge. I've been saying it for a long time that we have to find a way to get a little more edge pressure because we're getting that great push from the middle. And I think we are starting to see that. The crazy thing about it is we haven't even seen Xavier Peters this year, which is crazy. That shows you how good we are at the end position. It also gives us a chance to redshirt him and have him for a few more years, which would be huge. The depth we have at linebackers, outside linebacker, is really showing. Jordan has really showed me something these last few games that has really impressed me. He's come along throughout the season with Boogie and Pascal. That's a pretty good punch with these freshmen coming in with Weaver and Carey. We got to get them, not just the last 2 guys I mentioned, but we got to get that group to provide that pressure off the edge, especially with the guys we are playing this week. If those freshman tackles still play, I'm not sure what their injury situation is. But if those freshman tackles are still playing, we need to take advantage of that. All outside linebackers should be excited for this weekend because it's possibly a chance. It's possibly a chance to get a few sacks this week. Not afraid of a run game. It's not imposing. If we protect the ball and do everything I normally say for the week, win the field position battle, win the turnover battle. It's the same every week. If we protect the ball, this should be a good week for us. I know, if you think about it, I think Alabama scored for 35 points and Tua was out. That UAB game was a joke. I thought UAB would give them a little more fight, but their quarterback was wearing orange-colored glasses because he was throwing it to the same guy. I think they had something going on. He threw it to the same DB 3 times. That Mississippi State game was closer than what It showed it was a turnover fest. Uh, and South Carolina, I don't know what happened to them after half. Things just started imploding on them on the road, and it hurt because it was a good game going to half. In halftime, things happen. Look at that game. Tennessee offense, like I said, was South Carolina offense. They had 3 touchdowns, but they scored 41 points. They had 2 special teams touchdowns, and they were giving some short fields. We need to blend these two, understand that, and it's hard to tell them because he's such a playmaker, that every play is not a touchdown play. Get on the ground, protect the ball, don't give them short fields. Our defense has been doing an outstanding job of, for the most part, except the Georgia game, of getting the opponent off the field on short field. That's huge as a defense. That's your job. Force them to a field goal. We can improve our red zone efficiency and force Tennessee to field goals. I think this should be a good game for us. It's crazy how much disrespect we get because people are not watching games. Of how we started with a 3-point spread, and now we're underdogs at home. And basically, a 3-point spread is basically a pick 'em because you get 3 points basically for being at home. That's generally speaking. That's the baseline. The home team gets 3 points. So we was a 3-point favorite, and now we're at one. I think I checked yesterday, the day before, we were like a 1 or 2 point underdog, which is crazy. I mean, what has Tennessee shown people, if you watch film, that makes you think they are a favorite on the road? It's kind of interesting. It just shows the lack of respect, name, credibility, and perception. We only lost to Georgia on the road in a rainstorm, 0-0 in the middle of the third quarter. We dominated the 2 games we won at home, Arkansas and Missouri, whom was supposed to be a quality team. But why are we not getting that love after beating a quality team at home? Pretty much dominated. Not pretty much. We dominated at Missouri. Where's our love? Where's that attention to us playing with a receiver as a quarterback and shutting down Kelly Bryant in that offense? They only scored a touchdown on a screenplay on a blitz call, man-to-man call, 70-some yards. They didn't drive on us at all. Then we got turnovers. So I don't quite understand why the disrespect this late in the season with the momentum that we have carried after the first bye week, after finally selling on a quarterback situation. So it's head scratching that people are not believing in the program after what we did last year. And if you watch the Georgia game after how we played them, what else? I really don't think Stoops is going to Florida State. I don't see the advantage for him to go. Now, since PJ Fleck has signed an extension, I've heard that the Mike Norville from Memphis is starting to heat up, and I can see that. I can see that more than anyone. The a younger guy who has improved that Memphis program, and he runs an exciting offense. So I can definitely see him being being a hot candidate for that job. I think he would bring a little enthusiasm. It's just still not a big name. Um, but from what I hear, the big names are not available. So they will have to go to plan B. And I think he would be a good candidate. I'm not sure if James Franklin and his personality will gel well with that environment at Florida State. It'll be interesting how this pans out with apparently the Bob Stoops momentum wasn't real. It's going to be interesting. Well, I see a big win for us. I see probably 24-13-ish, 24-10. Get to 5-4. And everybody in Big Blue Nation will be happy because they beat Tennessee. All right, guys, that's all I got. I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you guys next week after Big W.